From the gritty streets of Euclid, Ohio, a blue-collar suburb on Cleveland's northeastern border, emerged a force that would defy every expectation of what a football player could be. Robert Smith wasn't just fast, he was lightning in cleats, clocking a blistering 10.68 in the 100 meters, a time that would make most Olympic hopefuls take notice. But speed was just one weapon in his arsenal. As a high school phenom at Euclid High, he didn't just break records. He shattered them with a combination of raw power and breakaway speed that left defenders grasping at shadows. Averaging an astronomical 8.8 yards per carry as a junior, Smith racked up 1,564 yards, making it look effortless. But that was just the warm-up. His senior year, an explosive 2,042 yards, 31 touchdowns, and a mind-blowing 9.2 yards per carry. The Panthers had unleashed a legend. The numbers tell a story of dominance that high school football in Ohio had never seen before. 5,038 career yards, 67 touchdowns, and an average of 9.19 yards every time he touched the ball. To put this in perspective, Smith was gaining first down yardage nearly every time he carried the football. His track times were equally impressive. 21.10 seconds in the 200 meters, 46.41 seconds in the 400 meters. This wasn't just a football player who ran track. This was a dual-sport athlete who excelled at both with equal measure. Two-time Mr. Football in Ohio, the first to ever achieve this feat, Smith was rewriting what was possible on the high school gridiron. College scouts weren't just knocking, they were breaking down his door. Miami, with its pipeline to the NFL and national championship pedigree, came calling. USC and UCLA, offering the glamour of Los Angeles and the pass-happy Pac-10, made their pitches. But Smith chose to stay home, heading to Ohio State, where the weight of expectation would rest heavy on his shoulders. The decision would prove to be just the first of many that would set him apart from his peers. In Columbus, Smith's freshman year was nothing short of spectacular. 1,126 yards, 8 touchdowns, and a rushing average that had the Big Ten shaking. He wasn't just living up to the hype, he was exceeding it. The Buckeyes had found their next great running back, or so everyone thought. But then came the decision that would define his legacy, a choice that seemed incomprehensible to many, but perfectly logical to Smith. In a move that shocked the football world, Smith sat out the 1991 season, trading his cleats for track spikes. While others questioned his commitment, labeling him everything from confused to crazy, Smith was busy posting a blazing 10.24 in the 100 meters, even faster than his high school times. This wasn't a step back, it was a step towards something bigger. He seriously contemplated transfers to USC or Stanford, institutions known as much for their academic prowess as their athletic programs. But Ohio State coach John Cooper kept the door open, understanding that this wasn't your typical athlete. When Smith returned to football in 1992, he showed no rust, demonstrating the same explosive ability that had made him a freshman sensation. His 2-year college career total of 1,945 yards might seem modest by today's standards, but it averaged out to an impressive 88.4 yards per game when he was on the field. NFL scouts saw past the unconventional path. They saw a unique talent who could change the game. The NFL came calling in 1993, with the Minnesota Vikings making him the 21st overall pick. The early years were a battle. Knee injuries, ankle problems, even a bout with chickenpox. Through his first 4 seasons, Smith managed just 1,829 yards and 11 touchdowns, averaging a modest 45.7 yards per game. Lesser men might have broken, might have given in to the whispers that he was too fragile, too intellectual, too different for the brutal world of professional football. But like any great story, this was just the setup for an epic comeback. 1997 marked the turning point. Smith exploded for 1,266 yards, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, leading to an impressive 90.4 yards per game. His longest run that season, 78 yards, showed the breakaway speed was still there. Over the next 4 seasons, he would amass an incredible 4,989 yards, averaging 4.8 yards per carry, and establishing himself as one of the most efficient backs in NFL history. By the time 2000 rolled around, Smith was at his peak, leading the NFC with 1,521 yards and scoring 10 total touchdowns. He was averaging 95.1 yards per game, with runs of 70-plus yards becoming his trademark. Then, at the height of his powers, with an estimated $20 million more in potential earnings ahead of him and coming off his second Pro Bowl selection, Smith walked away. His career totals tell only part of the story. 6,818 yards, 32 rushing touchdowns, 178 receptions, 1,292 receiving yards, and only 9 fumbles and 1,411 carries, a remarkable 0.64% fumble rate, among the lowest in NFL history. For comparison, the average NFL running back of that era fumbled roughly twice as often. The statistics paint a picture of excellence. 69.6 yards per game over his career, 4.8 yards per carry, and a remarkable 7.3 yards per reception. But perhaps most telling was his NFL record of 27.2 yards per touchdown run, a testament to his ability to turn any carry into a game-breaking play. In his final season, he averaged 5.2 yards per carry, showing he was leaving at the top of his game, not limping away like so many others. But the real victory came after football. While others struggled with life after the game, Smith conquered his demons, openly battling and overcoming alcoholism. He traded the roar of the crowd for the quiet pursuit of knowledge, becoming an amateur astronomer featured in PBS programming, an author of The Rest of the Iceberg, and founder of the Robert Smith Foundation, dedicated to supporting children's hospitals and cancer research. His post-NFL career has been as diverse as it is impressive. From appearances on Mystery Science Theater 3000 to becoming a respected college football analyst, Smith has shown the same versatility that made him special on the field. He's founded Fan Huddle, an on-demand wellness platform, proving that his commitment to health and well-being extends far beyond his playing days. In the end, Robert Smith's story isn't just about the numbers, impressive as they are. The 8,110 total yards from scrimmage, the 38 total touchdowns, the 2 Pro Bowl selections. It's about a man who dared to be different, who walked away on his own terms, and who proved that the greatest victories often come after the final whistle blows. From track star to NFL elite, from battling addiction to studying the stars, Smith's journey reminds us that true greatness isn't measured in yards, but in the courage to forge your own path. His legacy lives on not just in the Vikings record books, where he held the all-time rushing record until Adrian Peterson broke it in 2012, but in the example he set for future generations. In an era where athletes often struggle to find purpose beyond the game, Smith showed that the end of a football career could be just the beginning of an even greater journey. His story continues to inspire, proving that sometimes the bravest thing an athlete can do is walk away, and the greatest victories are the ones we win over ourselves.